Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the Family Table. Today we will be making my chicken chorizo pasta. It's a creamy chicken chorizo pasta. So there'll be lots of cheese and lots of meaty goodness. So I want to make sure you guys pay very close attention to this recipe. Hope you guys try it because I do love it because it is one of my own personal recipes. So just before we get into it, just make sure that you are subscribed to the channel because I will be bringing you a lot more content like this and others. Hint, hint. Also make sure that you hit the thumbs up button on this video and you share it on all social media platforms. Share with all your friends and your family. And at the end, make sure you guys just comment and let me know what you think. So now, let's get into it. So for pasta, we're going to need some penne pasta, some Cajan seasoning, some double cream, some mozzarella cheese, some mature cheddar cheese, some chorizo, and this is the Spanish spicy chorizo, some Frankfurters. Well, I think that's the right way to pronounce them, but you can use chicken sausage instead. Just personal flavor. I will have the measurements in the description. I have some bell peppers, some sliced bell peppers or mixed sweet peppers depending on where you're from. So I have a bit of the yellow, the red, the green, the orange. You can use one color, that's alone what you want alone. I have some chicken breasts that I've washed and I've sliced. Based on personal preference, you do not need to wash your meat if that's your thing, but obviously, you know, we're West Indian, so we need to wash it. And I have 2 tablespoons of green seasoning. If you guys want a recipe for this, let me know. So this is basically onions, garlic, celery, bell peppers or sweet peppers, bit of habanero peppers, or scotch bonnet, depending on where you're from, a bit of ginger, spring onions or scallions, coriander, parsley, not sure if I said celery, yeah, and so I'll blend it together, and we will be using a bit of pesto and salt and pepper to taste. You can add to this, or you can use a bit of seasoning oil or all-purpose seasoning. So first thing that we're going to do is just going to put some water on to boil, and then we're just going to cook our pasta off. No need to add any salt to the pasta because we have the cheese, and then we'll be able to adjust it because this is mature cheddar cheese, so it does have a lot of salt in it. It is very strong, so we're just going to leave it, and then obviously the cheese have a bit of salt, and then so just going to put this pasta to boil, and then I'll show you what we do next. Okay, so you can do this step in advance, but you do not need to, but you can do this and then just allow the chicken to sit for a bit and marinate. So what we're going to do is add that Cajan seasoning. I know it might seem like a lot, but it really isn't because we do have about 500 grams of penne pasta. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add half of this to the chicken breast and just reserve a bit for when that pasta is cooking. And we're just going to make sure the chicken is evenly coated, so we just want to stir that in, and just so by the time the water boils and we cook that pasta, our chicken breast will be a bit marinated and ready to go. It's just going to incorporate that flavor. But if you want, you can do this in advance and let it sit for about an hour. But if you're in a rush, it's really no need to, because you're still going to get all that flavor when we've finished with this. So if you have a look, you can see how beautiful that looks now. So I'm just going to leave this and let it sit and marinate for a while, and then I'll show you the next step. So now our water is boiling, so all I'm just going to do is add the pasta to the water, give it a good stir, cover it and let it cook. You can cook this until it is al dente, or you can do it a bit further. It just depends on your personal taste. And we're just gonna let that boil for now, and then I'll show you what we do next. Okay, so now that our pasta is finished boiling, I've just put on about a tablespoon of oil, well, just a little bit over a tablespoon of oil, cooking oil. So you can use whether you'd like your rapeseed oil, extra virgin olive oil, or even just your plain vegetable or sunflower oil. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to add that chicken breast which we have seasoned. Just get all of it out of it, and we're just going to fry this up. Okay, so we just want to make sure that we cook the chicken breast. So I'm just going to fry it up a bit. Okay, now that the chicken breast is almost finished cooking, I'm going to add the chorizo to start frying. And the chorizo is going to start producing its own oil. That chorizo will flavor it more, make it very rich. Also, while I was listing the ingredients, I forgot to tell you guys that I will be using a bit of soft cheese. You can use either ricotta or mascarpone cheese in this. It is optional, or you can use quark. It just depends on your own personal taste. Because we are using the double cream also, which ideally, if you do not have access to double cream and you want to make this, you can swap the double cream for whole milk. Or, well, you can also use semi-skimmed. I'll probably avoid skim because it won't have that richness in which we're going for. So, while this fries a bit, now we are going to add the pork sausages. So you can use bratwurst, you can swap this, use chicken sausages, chicken hot dogs. You can just change it around a bit for your personal taste. So you can see there is a lot of meat in this. So what we just want to make sure is that the chicken is fully cooked, and the chorizo, we're just going to make sure it's very heated all the way through, and the sausages. I'm just going to let these fry up a bit. Okay, now that you can see that these have been fully cooked and fried up a bit, we are going to add the peppers. So as mentioned before, I have a mixture of the red, yellow, and green peppers. So I'm just going to put this in to just cook a bit. I don't want to overcook them too much, so that's why I waited, because I still want a bit of crunch. But based on your personal taste, you can cook them all the way through until they're super soft. But I just want to make sure they just have just a little bit of crunch. I've done them, I've sliced them in few different sizes, so it helps with the texture, so you get a bit of different textures in your food. And now the extra green seasoning in which we saved at the beginning, we'll just add that into this, because we're just layering flavor on top of flavor on top of flavor. And now we just work that in. Just looking at this alone, this is beautiful. I can eat this. Okay. So now we just let that cook for a bit. And then now what you'd want to do is get your cream cheese. So you want a soft cheese. So I'm using mascarpone, but you can also use ricotta. So I'm using half of a 250 gram tub, so it'll be about 125. So, because I've made this dish with both ricotta and the mascarpone, and they both are really nice. So you can see this add to making the dish a bit creamy. So as it starts to melt, you'll see everything just starts to turn super creamy. So this is probably not the best dish if you are lactose intolerant, because there is so much dairy in which we're putting in this. Okay, and I'm just gonna work that and just stir that in. And if you notice, we've not added any salt or anything to this as yet, because we're gonna wait towards the end, because when we add the other cheeses, especially that mature cheddar cheese, it's gonna have so much salt in it, add more flavor to the pot. And look at that. Also the chorizo, if you've never had chorizo, you can basically you can use the chorizo as basically help season the pot, because that has its herbs and spices in it. But more so spices, that spicy chorizo. Now if you have a look at this, you can see how creamy this is already. So now we're just gonna turn this up a notch, and we're just gonna add that double cream. Now if you've had time, you could have let this double cream sit out and for it to warm up. I just basically bought this, so it's not had enough time to warm up. You can warm it up in the microwave if you want, but it's perfectly fine. So obviously if the double cream is cold, it'll bring down the temperature a bit, so you're just gonna want to let it, so you're gonna have to wait a while for it obviously to come back up to the full temp. And that what that double cream is gonna do, or whole milk if you add, is just help to create a kind of a sauce to coat the pasta. So now I'm just gonna let this cook for a bit, allow all those flavors to infuse. Okay, so now that this is back up to a simmer, what we're gonna do now is to add our pesto. I've actually added a bit before, but I saw that it wasn't fully recording. So I've added about 2 teaspoons of pesto to this, because I want that pesto flavor. I want to taste and know that pesto is in this. And now look at how creamy and rich that is. Now what I'm going to do is add the mature cheddar. So we just want to get all of that out into the pan and just allow this to melt and flavor that sauce. The sauce is going to start to thicken up a bit now that we've added the cheese to it. And it won't take very long to melt. So now, just working that in. Now look at this, like literally. I'm so excited to eat this right now. And then now we are going to add the mozzarella. I normally get mine in super large packs, so I would freeze and keep, so that's a money saving tip, because normally when you buy in bulk it's a bit cheaper. So if you're thinking about, oh my gosh, I'm not really gonna use all of this all at once, just freeze it. Just bag them out into various sizes or measurements in which you want, and just freeze it. Now if we look at that, look, now if you add that mozzarella, you can see the stretch in this. And look, it's so thick and gooey. Oh, look at that. Oh. And now for the final step, what we are going to do is to add our pasta to this. So all that pasta that I've cooked, we're just gonna add and just mix it in, allow all the pasta to be evenly coated in that sauce. And at this point you want to just turn your heat down, just make sure it's not a bit too hot. And you will see, because you can add more milk or more double cream to your recipe depending on how thick or how much sauce you want or how creamy. I like this to be a bit relatively dry, so I don't want too much cream. I don't want it to be swimming in sauce, so I just want it to be evenly coated in that sauce. And look at that. Oh, you can see all the different colors from the peppers, all that. You can see the chicken breast, the chorizo, the pork sausages. Also, you guys can use bratwurst. Oh, if you want to push it up a notch, you can add some bacon to this. I know, it's like, so far it's like pork lover's dream, but you can swap if you're not a lover of pork. So there's turkey bacon, you can use chicken sausages, you can swap out the chorizo for something else and just make it your own, or you can just double up on the chicken or just make it mostly chicken. So now what I'm going to do, I am going to taste this and make sure, see if it needs any more salt. At this point is when you add your salt to taste. See, this is perfect for me at the moment because I'm trying not to use too much salt, but you can probably use like a pinch depending on personal taste, but to me actually this doesn't need anything else. To me this is perfect. So I'm just gonna plate this up and let you guys have a look and see at the finished. Okay, now so if you guys have a look at the finished product, you can see how creamy that is. You can see the peppers, the green, the red, the sausages, the chorizo there, the chicken. Oh, look at this, and you can see how creamy that is. So I do hope you guys try this recipe and let me know what you think. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get and turn your alerts on so you know when I post videos, and we'll have a lot more coming in store for you guys. Make sure you thumbs up this video and you share it on all your social media, share it with all your friends, and get down in that comment section and let me know what you think when you've tried this recipe. Also, just comment and let me know what else you'd like to see me make, and do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye!